I'm a yoga instructor here at RecSports, and I'll be guiding us through a Hatha Yoga flow today. So Hatha Yoga, for those of you who may not know, is the original practice of yoga. So we'll focus more on the structure of the poses and breathing into those poses rather than the flow in between them. So it'll be a little bit slower, a little bit more meditative, and we'll be getting ready for a meditation at the end. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's start moving. All right, so before we get seated, just make sure you find yourself in an environment, either outdoors or indoors, where you can lay your mat out, preferably on a flat ground. Maybe go into your room, turn on some music, just create an environment that you can find peace in. We're gonna get started seated. So I offer you easy pose where we're just gonna line up our ankles with one another. If you are feeling flexible, we can come into a half lotus where we'll just bring a foot up onto our thigh. Just find a space that's comfortable for you to settle into the sit bones. The hands can either come to the knees or fall at the lap. We'll begin by shutting the eyes or just bringing your gaze to the space in front of you. Start to draw your awareness into the body, beginning by noticing the sensation of the earth supporting you. Notice the temperature of the air around you. Notice the sensation of air as it enters through the bridge of the nose, filling into our bodies, offering a gentle expansion through the belly and the lungs. Notice the warm air as it releases out of your mouth. Know that this time on your mat is yours to release tension, emotion, anything you may be carrying with you that you're ready to let go of. Maybe we set an intention for this practice, intention to heal, to take care of our bodies, to nourish ourselves with breath. Maybe our intention is to release toxins, release any thoughts or feelings that may be holding us back. Start to really deepen the breath, offering a nice wide expansion in through the belly. If you'd like to bring your hands onto your belly and just feel them expand away from the spine as you inhale a nice deep breath. And let the hands draw back in towards the body as you release that breath. Let's take 5 deep breaths together. Each breath a little bit longer. Reaching deeper. One more breath together. And exhale, let it go. Hands can come back onto your knees. From here, let's take an inhale, draw the hands up overhead, nice and long. Really reach in from the tailbone all the way up through the fingertips. We can just take some organic movement here, maybe stretch the palms, roll the wrists, wiggle the fingers. Pretend like you're reaching for something just above you. And exhale, flutter the hands down to either side of the body. So from here, we'll plant our left hand on the mat to our side. Inhale that right arm up overhead and reach over towards the left side of the body. We're opening up through the right side body, really breathing in through the belly. Breathe in through that right side of the ribs. Offering a nice expansion into this space. And with the exhale, let's roll that right arm around the body, wrap it around the low back, pulling that right shoulder further behind you. You should feel a gentle sensation in the right outer hip. Give yourself a nice expansive breath here. And with your next inhale, let's reach both arms back up overhead. Inhale, lengthening from the fingertips. And exhale, roll the wrists, let both hands fall back down to either side. We're going to plant our right hand onto the mat and inhale the left arm up, reaching over towards the right side. Letting that left elbow hover over the ear. Breathing in through the left side body. Find a deeper expansion throughout that left lung. And with the next breath, let's wrap that left arm around the low back, pulling the shoulder behind you. Just being open to the sensations that we feel here. Give yourself a full breath in this space. And we'll inhale both arms back up overhead. Exhale, run the hands through heart center. Just finding a breath of gratitude. And inhale the arms back up overhead. From here, we'll exhale, bringing our hands to our knees. Focus on really lengthening from the tailbone to the crown of your head. Inhale nice and long, and exhale to release forward, keeping your sit bones on the ground. Chest hovers over the mat. From here, we're going to make big circles with our torso. So start to release over to either side. Exhale, really round out the back. Tuck in the chin to the chest. And come over to the other side. Exhale, completing the circle. I invite you to take this at your own pace. Maybe taking it slower or quicker than I am. Feel free to add your own flair into it. Maybe work the shoulders and the neck into these movements. And just be open to sensations that we feel throughout the side body and the low back. And with your next breath, let's change the direction of our rotation. Let's slowly make our way back through center, reaching up towards the ceiling with the crown of your head. Let's inhale the arms up nice and long, lifting from the tailbone through the fingertips. Go ahead and bring your gaze up in between the fingertips, creating length with our entire bodies. And exhale, we'll bring the hands out in front of us. Make your way into a tabletop position. So in our tabletop, we have our wrists stacked in line with our shoulders and our knees in line with our hips, creating a nice lengthened spine. Crown of the head is reaching forward. We're going to move through our cats and our cows. So on the exhale, let's start to push the belly away from the ground. Feel the shoulder blades open up away from one another. Drop the head in between the arms. Really pushing into the mat with the palms of the hands and the tops of the feet. With our next inhale, we'll draw the belly towards the ground and lift up through the tailbone and the crown of the head. Inhale here, exhale to press back into your cat pose. Inhale to lift into cow. And exhale to press into cat. Let's take this at your own pace. Again, moving maybe slower or quicker than my pace. Really focus on connecting these movements with the rate of your own breath. Inhale to lift. Exhale to press. Let's do this at your own pace for 3 more breaths. And with your next exhale, we'll find a neutral tabletop. From here, let's kick our right leg out behind us. So we're gonna point our toes towards the ground, flexing our foot as if we're trying to stomp on the wall behind us. Really finding length here from the crown of the head to that back ankle. And you can feel free to stay here, just focus on the engagement in your core. If you would like to take this pose a step further, maybe challenge your balance, we can start to lift that left arm up overhead. Bringing your gaze just past the thumb, really pressing evenly into the mat between the left foot and the right hand. Wherever you are, finding deep and expansive inhales and relaxing exhales. And with your next breath, we'll bring ourselves back into our tabletop. Going ahead and doing that on the other side. Let's kick that left foot back behind us. Again, flexing the foot so our toes point to the ground, as if we're stomping on the wall. Just taking a moment to feel this pose, really finding length from the crown of your head to that back ankle. Knowing that you're welcome to stay here. If you're craving a more challenging pose, we can start to reach forward with the right arm. Bringing our gaze just past that right thumb. Wherever you are, just finding your breath. And exhale, find your neutral tabletop. From here, we're gonna bring our hands to the top of our mat. Keep your hips in line with your knees, and exhale to melt your heart to the ground, finding your puppy dog pose. Your chin can rest on the ground. If this pose feels like it's too much on your chest, then maybe take a pillow and bring it just underneath the chest for a little bit of support. We're gonna stay here for 5 deep breaths. Noticing sensation that this brings into the chest and the shoulders. Let each breath bring a deep expansion into the belly. And with your next breath, let's slowly start to lift those elbows up off the ground. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Maybe offer just some organic movements here. We can roll the hips in a circle, sinking them back to the ankles, moving them out to the side. Feeling free to work your shoulders and your neck into these organic movements. And from here, we'll come back into our tabletop. So from here, we're gonna go through a sun salutation. So let's begin by lifting our feet onto the mat. On the inhale, we're gonna lift our knees up off the ground, and exhale, press into a downward facing dog. So in this pose, we're creating an inverted V with our bodies, really pressing into the mat through the heels, through the palms of your hands, maybe offering a gentle bend in the knees to bring more length into the spine. We can walk our dogs here, pedaling out the heels, maybe rock the hips from side to side, just engaging with our bodies in this pose. And with our next breath, we'll bring our gaze in between the 2 thumbs and take baby steps to walk our feet up into this space. Once you're there, we're gonna melt into a forward fold. We can go ahead and grab either elbow, give a gentle bend in the knees. If it's comfortable for you to release the head so that the crown points towards the floor. Maybe offer a gentle swaying motion into the body like the branches of a tree in the wind. Feel the tension of the low back melting as we release into this pose. Exhale, let go of the arms. And with the next inhale, we're gonna roll the spine to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale to feel the spine stack over itself. The head will be the last thing to come up through center. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, find heart center. Just taking a moment here, feeling the ground beneath our feet. Just recentering, drawing our awareness back into the body. The next inhale, let's reach back up with the arms. And exhale to swan dive back into our forward folds. From here, we'll take a halfway lift. Bring your hands up onto the shins. Create a flat back. Let the crown of the head reach forward. Inhale here, and exhale. Plant your hands back on the ground. We're going to step back into a plank. Know that you always have the option of bringing your knees onto the ground for a less engaged chaturanga. And so as we exhale to bring our chest to the ground, let's focus on keeping our elbows close to the body, lowering the chest to the mat, bring the tops of your feet onto the ground, and inhale up for a baby cobra. We want to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Take a nice deep breath here. Exhale, bring the toes onto the mat, and inhale to lift back up into a down dog. Pedal out the feet here, maybe rock the hips. We'll bring our gaze back in between our two thumbs and walk our feet up into that space. Exhale to surrender into a forward fold. And with your next inhale, let's roll the spine back up to standing. Really focusing on each vertebrae as it stacks over the last. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead. And as we exhale our hands to heart center, let's step our right foot all the way back, coming into a crescent lunge. We want to keep that right ankle lifted above the ground, creating a nice 90-degree bend in that left knee. Maybe sinking the hips lower towards the ground to open them up a bit more. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, open up the heart towards the sky. Imagining a helium balloon in our hearts. Really breathing in nice and expansive in through the belly. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, find heart center. Pressing in through that back heel. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale through heart center. One more time. And exhale, find your heart center. From here, we're going to bring our right bicep to the outside of that left knee, coming into a twist, bringing your gaze just past that left elbow. Keep that right heel digging in towards the mat. Notice that twist throughout your torso. From here, we can plant our right hand onto the mat on the inside of the foot and inhale the left arm up overhead. Give yourself a breath here. And with the exhale, we'll plant our left hand on the left side of the foot and inhale the right arm up overhead. Give yourself a breath here. Exhale, bring both hands onto either side of the foot. And with the next breath, we're gonna cartwheel the arms up into a warrior two. So let's inhale to lift up, and our back foot is gonna meet the ground at a 45-degree angle. Maintaining that bend in the left knee. Let's bring our gaze past that left thumb. Exhale the shoulders away from the ears. And from here, we'll wrap our right arm around the low back. Exhale for our reverse warrior. We might start to feel sensation in that left quad. Just breathing into it. And exhale, let's straighten out that left leg and reach up with the arms. We'll do that a couple times. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to lift up. And one more time, exhale, press into warrior two. And inhale to lift up. From here, let's bring our left foot to come parallel with the right. We're gonna take a nice wide-legged forward fold. So with both of our feet pointing forward, let's just release over the legs. Maybe grab either elbow, sway from side to side. Taking any movements that may call out to you here. Releasing the crown of the head towards the ground. And from here, let's release the arms. Inhale to come back up. And exhale to come back into your crescent lunge. So let's bend that left knee back at 90 degrees. Lift that right ankle up over the ground. We're gonna frame the foot with our two hands and step the right foot up to meet the left. Surrendering into a forward fold. Give yourself a breath here. So we're gonna even out that sequence on the other side, starting with inhaling to roll the spine up to standing, one vertebrae by one. At the top of the breath, we'll bring the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, our hands to heart center, we're gonna step that left foot towards the back of the mat. So that left heel is pressing towards the ground, but it is lifted. And our right knee is at a 90-degree angle. From here, let's inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, melt the heart towards the sky, taking a gentle back bend. Nice expansive breaths in the belly here. Inhale the hands up, heart center. We'll do that a couple times. Inhale the arms up. Exhale them to heart center. Inhale the arms up. And exhale them to heart center. From here, we'll bring our left bicep to the outside of that right knee, opening the chest up towards the walls. Bringing your gaze just past that right elbow. If you notice balance is challenging here, really focus on drawing that back heel towards the ground, lengthening throughout that left leg. And from here, we can open up the arms, planting the left palm on the ground and inhaling the right arm up. Notice the twisting sensation in your torso and how that may change the breath. Let's exhale, bring that right palm onto the mat and inhale the left arm up to the sky. From here, we'll plant that left hand back onto the ground. We're gonna inhale the arms up to cartwheel into a warrior two, lifting up, planting that back foot on the ground at 45 degrees. Gazing past that right thumb, nice and engaged in the legs and the upper body. And from here, we'll wrap that left arm around the low back and reach into our reverse warriors. And from here, let's find our warrior two. Straighten out that leg and reach forward towards the sky. Doing that a couple times. Exhale to press into warrior. And inhale to reach. Exhale, warrior. And inhale to reach. From here, we'll cartwheel the hands back to frame that right foot. Let's step the right foot to meet the left and move through a chaturanga at your own pace. So we'll exhale, chest to the ground. Inhale for a cobra. Flip the feet onto the toes and press back into our down dog. Maybe walking our dogs, pedaling out the heels. Rock the hips from side to side. And from here, let's bring our gaze into the space between our thumbs, bend the knees, and hop our feet up into the space. From here, we're gonna sink the hips towards the ground as if we're sitting in a chair. And inhale, our arms up, finding a chair pose. Our weight should come to the back of our heels, nice and lengthened from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Gazing at the space between our two hands. From here, let's exhale to fold forward, hugging the body from behind the legs. Let the crown of the head reach towards the ground. And as you start to straighten out the legs here, you'll start to feel a nice sensation throughout the back, as well as the neck. Give yourself some time here to really breathe into this pose. Noticing tension start to melt away. And from here, we'll start to release the hands. Inhale to roll the spine up to standing one more time for this practice. Let the arms come up overhead. Reaching nice and long. We're going to take a gentle side body stretch before we make our way onto the ground. So we're going to interlace our fingertips, releasing the index finger. Inhale to reach for the sky. And exhale, let the body go towards either side, opening up throughout the side body. Really breathing into the lungs, the belly. Inhale, center, and exhale to the opposite side. Inhale, come back up to center, and exhale, we're gonna reverse swan dive down to the ground. And from here, we'll plant our hands on the mat and step back into either a plank or straight into a down dog. Moving through an optional chaturanga. And once we're in our down dog, let's go ahead and bring our knees onto the mat nice and wide. Let the hips sink back to the heels, finding a child's pose. Let the forehead kiss the ground. And we can walk our fingertips further up the mat to bring a deeper sensation into the shoulders. We notice here that we can take really expansive breaths. Maybe let your breath fill into the back of the rib cage. Filling into the belly. Just allow yourself to feel connected here to the earth, allowing for a grounding sensation. Allow each inhale to nourish you. And each exhale to relax you. Let's give ourselves 5 more deep rounds of breath here. With your next breath, we're just gonna lift that right hand up to the sky, pressing the left bicep closer towards the ground. Take a nice deep inhale here, lifting through the tips of the right fingers. And we're gonna exhale to thread the right arm underneath the left, coming onto that right shoulder, resting the right side of the face onto the ground. Our left fingertips can either walk towards the front of the mat or maybe wrap around the low back, tucking them in at the crease of your hip. Offering yourself a few nice and deep breaths. Really expanding through the belly, breathing into the shoulders. We'll start to bring that left hand back onto the mat if it isn't already. Inhale the right arm up overhead. And exhale, find your child's pose. We'll even that out on the other side. Inhale to lift the left hand up to the sky, pressing the right bicep closer towards the ground. Inhale, reaching through the fingertips. And exhale to thread the right arm underneath the right, coming onto that shoulder. Rest the left side of your face on the ground. Right fingertips can again walk to the top of the mat or wrap them around the low back. Wherever you are, just giving yourself some nourishing breaths. And from here, we'll start to bring that right hand back onto the ground. Inhale the left arm back up to the sky. And exhale, find your child's pose. From here, let's walk our hands to the body. Coming into a seated position. And from here, we're going to swivel our legs around and make your way onto your back. Finding ourselves in a supine position, let's hug the knees into the chest. Give your body a loving squeeze. Maybe roll from side to side, offering a gentle massage into the spine. From here, we're going to take a supine twist. So let's open our arms out into a T shape. And exhale our knees over to the right side. For a deeper twist, we can bring our gaze past our left fingertips. It's important here to keep both shoulders planted on the ground. And stack that left hip over the right hip. Twists are a great way to release your body from toxins that we tend to store in our organs. So maybe just take a moment here to recognize something that we may be carrying that we're ready to let go of. Maybe that's an emotional sensation or something more physical. Take this opportunity to recognize the surrender this pose offers. Let's inhale our knees into the chest and exhale them over to the left side. To deepen that twist, we can gaze past our right fingertips. Coming back to that feeling of surrender. And with your next breath, we'll bring both knees into the chest. We'll take a bridge pose from here. So let's plant our feet onto the mat. Stacking or lining up our ankles with our knees. And with the next breath, we'll lift up through the pelvis, tucking the chin into the chest. We can stay here, or if you'd like a deeper sensation in the shoulders, we can tuck in the shoulder blades, interlacing the fingertips just beneath the tailbone. Wherever you are, just really engaging with the sensations that you feel here. Breathing some of the deepest breaths you've taken all day. One more inhale here. And exhale, release back onto the ground from the top of the spine to the tailbone. Let's hug our knees into the chest and find our happy babies. Grabbing onto the feet and opening up. We can rock from side to side, allowing our movements to be gentle. And whenever you're ready, release your body onto the ground, surrendering all four limbs. Go ahead and notice where you may be holding tension in the body. We tend to hold tension in the belly and the chest, as well as the muscles of the face. Go ahead and surrender these spaces. Unhinge the jaw. Let the tongue fall to the back of the mouth. Relax the cheeks, the temples, and the space between your eyebrows. Allow for a sensation of bliss and gratitude to wash over you. Knowing that you're completely supported by your external environment, and that you're able to find peace from within yourself. A moment to find gratitude for your practice, for your body, for your health. Make a promise to be a positive life force for yourself and others. Thank you for joining me today. Take care of yourself and take care of others. We'll end our practice with a phrase that means the divine light in me honors that within each of you. Namaste.